Yes, people, I'm here, and my main man Laser is here as well. So today, obviously, we had some issues, technical issues with the UFT. We will bring it back hopefully tomorrow. It's just because it's a new channel again. We haven't gone live on it, so it really ruined our chances of uploading. Sorry, doing a live what live chat show on there, and unfortunately, we had to come back obviously to LFC Red Forever. We're going to talk about the same subjects. There's no issues other than like the channel's changed. So please, fasten your seatbelts and get ready. We're going to be talking about the Premier League. We're going to be talking about obviously Man City, the big teams like Man United, Messi. So we're going to be doing a lot of stuff like that today. So please get ready, fasten your seatbelts. Let's do this, people. Let's do this. Yes, people, welcome to LFC Red Forever channel. It's a bit of like issues we had today, but we're back. We're back on LFC Red Forever channel. We're going to be obviously talking about Man City, Jack Grealish, Kane. So the list goes on and on and on. We're going to have a big, obviously, chat about it. So please hit that subscription button, hit that notification button, and hit that like button as well. Let me bring in my main man, Laser, as well. Laser! What's going on, bro? What is going on?
Yes. I'm good, man. It's good to be back. It's good to be back, man. For those that are wondering where I've been sick. Unfortunately, I had the COVID, I had a bout of the COVID, and it struck me down for a couple of weeks, but I am back in the place. Big up to yourself, Casper. But yeah, man, unfortunately, as Fuzzy was saying, my partner in crime, we couldn't do the yellow and black tonight. So we've had to do it on this channel. It's all good because we got the platforms, So if things go wrong, we can always be on another platform. But hopefully, fingers crossed, tomorrow we should be here live and direct, streaming the Charity Shield, live watch along between Leicester City and Manchester City. But today, we are going to touch up on the transfer embargoes. Ain't that right, Fuzzy? Tell the people.
Yes, people. We're going to be obviously talking about Man City, Man United, Chelsea, even Messi, and the rest of the Premier League as well. I'm going to bring up a lot of topics in it, and me and Les are going to discuss what we're going to do. So we're going to basically talk about Jack Grealish going to Man City for 100 million. What do you think about the Laser? Like, what do you think of the actual, the amount they spent on him? Like, and a lot of people say Man City don't spend 100 million, but they do. They actually do,
and this is the thing. Not so long ago, Pep Guardiola was saying, big up to yourself, John, man, regular viewer, one of our members. But yeah, man, as Pep was saying before, right? It was like, we can't afford it. Manchester City seem to have this thing, this policy, this transfer policy in place where they don't go and break records. They kind of do it. If you notice, they were very strategic and very clever. So if you notice, every season they will buy someone in the region of 30, 40. Their record breaking was 60. If I'm right, was it Diaz or Mahrez? I think Diaz. Diaz. Before that, it was Mahrez. Before that, it was Kevin De Bruyne. Before that, it was Sterling. So now, me personally, I don't believe Jack Grealish is worth 100 million. To Aston Villa, he's worth 100 million, but not as a player. I think 50 million at tops, because we know English players are always inflated. And I think this is a dangerous game. What's happening now, and I think this is going to be, I think what we're going to see now is the start of a domino effect, Fuzzy, because if players are going, for 100 million, and this is me jumping the gun now, because we're supposed to do this in the structure today, but basically, I'm hearing Maddison might go to Arsenal for 70 million, so when you look at it, right, James Maddison from Leicester for 70 million, are you crazy? He's not even an England international, so that's what I'm saying. So when you look at it, right, basically, what's this going to happen now is other teams are going to be like, hold on, if Jack Grealish can be 100 million, then we're going to set our store up higher. It's not right, man.
Yeah.
And Man City, right, are ruining English football. They're ruining it because if they get Kane or Messi next and they're paying them wages, it's a sad state of affairs, Fuzzy, man. I tell you, boy.
It worries me. It worries me. You know what I mean? Like I've always said, like with these teams, they come in, they splash the cash as they always do, but it's not to the extent that it's benefiting the rest of the Premier League. It's benefiting them individually, and it's gonna one day we're gonna end up like the Spanish league. We're gonna end up like the Italian league. People are gonna lose interest. Nobody wants to go to games anymore because you already can predict the goal scoring, who's gonna win the league before that. So what is the actual point for us to even support this nonsense?
And this is it,
Where's
man.
where is the financial fair play? Where does it come in?
It's all about money, greed and corruption. And this is where we've got to be careful now because as you alluded to, we don't want the Premier League going that way. Like the Bundesliga, like the La Liga, like the Scottish League. People are going to have to, and this is what, like I'm saying, Man United know, last year, for example, for their standards, they had a good season. But for our season, it was crap. So that's why Man United were able to go into second place. When you think in the grand scheme of things, Liverpool had a very poor season. We only finished, was it 5 points behind Man United? But the reason why I'm bringing Manchester United up is because them sort of teams are now thinking, we've got to catch up with City. So they're splashing the cash, Varane, Sancho, whoever else they're going to buy. Chelsea want to do the same thing and bring back Lukaku. So it's scary stuff, man. And as we know, being Liverpool fans, me and yourself, we're not spending. So, we got a miracle working with Cup, but we've got to be careful, man. I just think it's not right. That vast amount of money is not right, man. And it's just, what's next? After this, what is next? Like, 100 million. Do you know what I'm saying, Fuzzy? It's scary stuff, man. Very, very scary stuff.
Casper said the band's back together. Yes. Thank you very much, brother.
Yes, we got Casper, Manchester United team viewer fan.
Here is Jade. Jade is saying big up Fuzzy and Laser and the chat, obviously chat as well. Big up.
Thanks for
Jade.
stopping by, Jade Exley.
Yes, Andrew saying evening all, gents of course, and plus the live chats. And you got Finish, smash the like button. Yes, Finish. Thanks for tuning in,
man, for stopping by. But yeah, with Jack Grealish now, right? So you see, Jack Grealish, he's a good player. Make no mistake about it. I would have liked him at Liverpool, and like I've looked at him for years. I've been watching him for years, man. When he was like at Villa from back in the day. I'm talking about 7 years. I first heard of him, and I thought this guy's gonna go places. I didn't predict. Who would have predicted it would have been 400 million for Manchester City? Yeah. But the thing is, he is gonna have to live up to that price tag now. A lot of pressure is gonna be on his shoulders. If anything, too much pressure. Because he's coming to a big, massive team like Manchester City. Yes, they haven't won the Europa Cup, but they're a big team. Do you know what I mean? They buy all the best players, they win trophies every single season. So can he live up to the expectation? Can he live up to it, Fuzzy? What do you think? And where do you see it going for him? Because there's a lot of players in their squad. Is Sterling going to go? There's talks about Bernardo Silva being moved in. He's a quality player. So what are the stockpiling? It's like Man City are stockpiling. Do you know?
Is it like it's like the old saying? Is it ever enough? Is it ever enough on you?
Exactly. And another thing as well, there's going to be huge pressure on their manager, Pep Guardiola, because let's be honest, he didn't come to Manchester City to win the Premier League. Because if that was the case, Pellegrini could have done it. Mancini did it. They did it. They did it, and they could have done it the following season. He's come to deliver the European Cup, their first Champions League, and he's failed. He's failed for 5 seasons running. So
I'm sorry, City fans, but he's a fraud. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
Listen, I had arguments with my personal friends about him, and I'm always, me, Laser. I study the management. I see the way. It's not because Klopp manages Liverpool. I can see. This guy can't work without financial backing, mate.
No.
Heavy financial backing.
Yeah.
Let's just be honest. You look at Klopp, he makes players who are nothing into something. And then you get Pep Guardiola buys players, and then he gets the actual props for winning like titles the managers before him won.
Yeah,
It doesn't make sense, Laser.
I think it's more of a case of this brand of football is brought to the Premier League, you know, and it's kind of made other teams play catch up. And if you look at a lot of the lower sides in the division in the Premier League, they've sort of implemented that style of play in the way, you know, in their team. You look at the Brighton under Graham Potter, for example. Loads of teams. Watford tried it under Silva. You know, the passing up from the back. But for me personally, I used to love that style of football, the tiki-taka, but for me, it's a bit boring now. You know, 300 passes before you get it into the box. For me, sometimes it can be a bit of a snooze fest when you're watching Man City dominate a lower team and having 80-something% possession and only getting 2 goals or 3 goals to show for it. And if you notice, sometimes a lot of their goals come right at the end of the game and the other teams give up. But going back at Manchester City, Pep Guardiola, has spent so much money. He's bought Mendy. Like, we could go on and on. If I'm right, it's close to £1 billion, isn't it? £1 billion pounds. That is shocking. That is shocking to spend that amount of money and not deliver not just the one Champions League, but two Champions League. And it pays huge testament to a manager like Jurgen Klopp. And I'm not saying this on a Liverpool hat. It pays huge testament for him to stop Manchester City in their tracks, get the 97 points. And before we say 97, rest in peace to the 97 as well, Andrew.
Of course,
you know, you never walk alone. This
Andrew
is Liverpool.
Divine,
Yeah, that's right. So anyway, the 97 points, they would win the title on 99 points and winning the European Cup for the 6th time and knocking Manchester City out in the Champions League. It pays huge testament. And I dread to think if we never had Klopp and Liverpool never done that, what would happen to the Premier League?
Exactly.
No one else was close to Liverpool and Man City.
Think about.
Do you know what I'm saying? Nobody else came close, bro. So Man City will be their 4th Premier League in a row.
You know, like even in this dark financial times as well, Laser, you look at it and then they're spending 100 million. You know, the worst part of it from my perspective, is if they spend 100 million, there's clubs that don't even have that will spend like over the odds prices for players now. So if Jack Grealish is worth 100 million, can you imagine the other players behind him now, how much they're going to cost?
This is what I'm saying. And this is
clubs into bankruptcy, man.
That's what I'm saying. It's a dangerous game because I'm hearing that Arsenal have been sniffing around James Maddison and the price what Leicester were quoting is 70-odd million pounds. And even when you think back to a couple of seasons ago when they sold Harry Maguire, 80 million that was, and he was nowhere near that much money. Yes, he's a good internet, he's a good centre back, he's an England internet, but it is nowhere near that money, and it's just ridiculous now. And as you said, teams are going to go into bankruptcy and struggle. What's going to happen if teams don't want to catch up to the likes of Manchester City and the Man United, Chelsea's and Liverpool? Because I'll put us at the end of that because we don't spend like those 3 teams I mentioned, right? If they don't do that, we're going to have a one-horse team league, and it's dangerous and it's scary, bro. Shocking because
people lose interest. Yeah, people lose interest, bro. Because you already can predict what team is going to win the league on a regular basis. That's what worries me. And then we're going to end up like Spain and Italy. And then if you look at the Italian football now, there's hardly fans in the stadiums anymore.
Yeah, it's empty seats, loads. Yeah, dead. Especially when you watch like Napoli play, they never sell it out. And it's San Siro, and it's sad to see those great stadiums once upon a time. You know, this is going back like 20 years when the Italian Serie A was one of the top leagues in the game. And, to see it decline like that, to shame. And the Juventus, they had their issues with corruption and stuff like that. And they ruined that league. Yeah. What was it, like 9 titles in a row, something stupid like that. You know, it's absolutely pathetic. But on the topic of Manchester City, the Grealish deal's done. It's not fresh news anymore. Everybody knows. Yeah. And a blind man could have seen it coming. We all seen it coming. Yeah. From the moment that it went to the Euros, it was like Grealish. And it was for me personally, it was between Man United and City, but you can sense Man City were going to come up with the goods. They already got their man in Jadon Sancho. And for me, he was always going to Manchester City. But Harry Kane now, while we're on the topic of Manchester City, now...
Let me just read out the comments before.
Yeah, of course. Go ahead, bro.
Andrew says City inflate price. It's a joke. 100%. You can't deny that. Andrew says again, a big up to everyone in the live chat. Of course. Thank you, Andrew. Any signings for LFC? What do you think, lads?
We're going to touch up on that, Andrew.
We're going to touch on that. That's a good point, Laser. That's what you were saying. Ben White was 50 million. Can you believe that, Laser?
I know. We're going to talk about all of these. We're going to talk all about this.
It's good for the feeder clubs. Yeah, that's the money is good for the feeder clubs.
Oh yeah. You're right, Finners. Yeah.
There's no doubt in that. Go on, Laser. Go on.
Yeah,
Carry on what you
but
said
as
about
we're
Harry
saying,
Kane, bro.
what we were saying, yeah, as Finners was saying, I might as well touch up on that. Ben White to Arsenal. That was always going to happen as well in the region of those price ranges. And as you were saying, Finners, right, and for the people, it is very good for the feeder clubs. Now, Aston Villa now, they've got £100 million in their kitty. You know, that's enabled them to get players like Bailey, Danny Ings, etc., and have money in their pocket. It's good for them. But in the grand scheme of things, those teams can't stockpile them big, massive, glamour players. They can't.
Yeah.
Let's just be honest, guys. Once in a blue moon, you're going to get a Leicester City, or you're going to get a team pushing for the top 6 and then a fade away. Those sort of teams, no matter if they get the money, from players that they've sold to the bigger teams, they can't challenge. Because if you look at Manchester City, what they've got at their riches, have you seen the squad? 2 teams, they've got 2 actual teams.
Maybe 4. Maybe 4.
Yeah, but what I mean is they've got 2 proper teams where it's 2
that
teams.
Could compete for the league. That could compete for the league.
Easily.
Yeah.
And it's mad. If you look back, right, who's won the League Cup? Tell me who's won the League Cup for the last few seasons? Manchester City, because they can afford to put a second team in that competition where all the other big teams don't give a toss about. Do you know what I mean? But before we go further, big up to Club Talk TV. Ali did the place. Nice and good, man. And much better, as you can see now. Back on this thing. Thanks for stopping by. But yeah, man, Fuzzy, what's your thoughts on Manchester City potentially getting Harry Kane? What's your thoughts on it?
Mate, that's just going to be a joke. It's going to be an actual joke if they get him, man. And it's going to ruin the league even further. That's what worries me about Harry Kane coming to Man City. Yes, then what you need to understand, Harry Kane is 2 type of players. He's a target man, and he could be a number 10 as well. So they're getting 2 players in one, which is frightening from my point of view. But he's 28, obviously. If they spend over 100 million for him, then I think football's ended, mate. For a 28-year-old who's got obviously ankle issues, and they're going to spend over 100 million for that, I said football's finished, mate. I'm not even going to bother anymore.
Yeah, and you see, the thing is, this is going back to Daniel Levy. He doesn't budge once he sets a price on his man. He's determined to get that money for it, and I think he set it out at 160. That's mad. Even for Man City, I think that's mad. They're not even going to go there, And
what do you think, Leza? What do you think of a player that's the England captain? He's a role model for the young kids. He's a role model for. I know football, there's no loyalty anymore, but he sets that standards. As a footballer to be the figurehead for the national team and obviously the Premier League. What do you think of him, like skipping training and all that stuff? What do you think? You agree with that stuff?
And the thing is, it kicked up a huge fuss when the news came out Monday, just gone. Sky Sports News, I've put it on, spoke to you on the phone, Talk Sport, etc., all the platforms. And I think it was Rio Ferdinand was saying, he gets a pass, Harry Kane does, because he's the golden boy for England and this, that, and that. If it was a Man United player, let's say, for example, Paul Pogba, there would be a huge uproar. And I agree with him. And I think as much as, there's been a so-called gentleman's agreement behind the scenes, and he's like, look, I want to go. I've done all I can for Tottenham. It's time for me to move on. I probably said that to the hierarchy, the higher-ups, etc. Right? I still think it's unprofessional of him to not turn up to training. We've seen players in the past.
You don't have to play the games. You don't have to play the games.
No. He's still turn up to training. It looks bad. And this is where, when we grew up watching football, players didn't have all this power. Now they have the power.
Nope.
They have all the power in the world.
Yeah.
If they don't want to play, if they don't want to do something, they're not going to do it. Even when you see players getting substituted, the questioning the manager, that couldn't happen 20 years ago. That couldn't happen under Fergie back in the day. Dalglish, Shankly, Paisley. No way. Do you know what I'm saying? And this is where football's going now. It's all superstars, Galacticos, social media plays a huge part in it as well.
Do you think, of course, 100%. Do you think if they get Kane, the season is over for everyone else? Do you think it's
I
over?
wouldn't say it's over, but it's almost over. I'm not writing it off. And the reason why I say this, right, I know this might sound stupid. Sometimes City have them seasons where they go a bit sluggish. Yes, they can blow the cannon fodder teams away. Let's say the bottom 12 teams, easy 3 points majority of the times for them. But Sometimes KDB gets injured. Grealish has to implement into the system. Because you remember when Mahrez signed for Man City 3 seasons ago, and that's when Liverpool got the 97 points. Everyone was saying then it was all over, and we pushed Man City to the limit. We should have actually won that. Liverpool should have won that season, right? And Harry Kane gets his customary injury. So as long as Liverpool, because I only think Liverpool can push Man City to those heights of points. Chelsea can, but I just don't think they can hit them late 90s. I know with a fully fit squad for Liverpool FC, they can push Manchester City to the limit. So it's not done, but if they get Kane, right, and they get off to a flying start, then it's kind of over. Do you know what I'm saying? It's going to be mad. It all boils down to all the other teams getting the points on the board. And for me, the required points to challenge for the title is getting your 18 points in your first 6 games. That's sort of games, you have to, or at least 15 points, Fuzzy. What's your thoughts on that, Fuzz?
With me, like I've always said, mate, let me just read that finish, obviously, live chat. He says, we are too far gone with all that's been snowballing for 20 years. 20 years plus.
Yeah, I think he's going alluding to the manager's player power. I think, is that right?
No, player power, money,
and what the state of football, the state of football.
It's understandable. With me, I think we can challenge, like I've always said, Liverpool have the right players to challenge for titles on a consistent basis because they are the right age at the moment, and they can beat the big teams as well as we go. But the thing is with us is as long as we get our players fit. That's
our first 11, and that's where it stops
with Chelsea. With Chelsea, yes, 100% they need a striker. Yes, 100% they need obviously a dominant centre back. I don't know about the guy Conde or something they want to buy. I don't know how dominant he is. Apparently, he's not even that big. He's not as
dominant as Lukaku. Lukaku's their ideal man. If they were to get him and Haaland, then Chelsea be really up there because Lukaku's dangerous, and I think he will suit this version of Chelsea. I think Lukaku's ready now. He's paid his dues. You know, he's been around the block since he was at Chelsea. You know, he went to West Bromwich Albion. He done a good job there. He done a good job for Everton Football Club. And then he went to Manchester United. It didn't quite work out there. They put on a bit of weight. You know, there was a chopping and change with the managers, Marino, etc., stuff like that. And he lost his way, went to Italy, and he's done good there. And every time he plays for his national side, Belgium, he's excellent. He's a good target, man. He's a traditional number 9. And it pains me to say he would do good for Chelsea. He will. He will. Because that's what they're missing.
Everybody thought like Werner is going to do the business, but you know Werner is hot and cold. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but he's not a proper traditional number 9 in the mold of Lukaku and those sort of players of that ilk. You know what I mean? Sort of thing.
So with Chelsea and Man City, they are going to compete for the title. Obviously, City's they're going to be more powerful than everyone else. And referring to Harry Kane, he needs to like smarten up and like realize he needs to go back to training and be a man. And, you know, like show the people that you're more humble than what you're showing now because, you know, football is still important in everybody's eyes. You know what I mean? And he's one of the figureheads. So he needs to go back to training. You don't have to play the game, later. You don't really have to play the game. Just go back to training and do your business. That's what you have to do.
In a way, I feel his frustration because he's given a lot to Tottenham, you know, over the years and that, you know, they were really there a few times. You know, challenging for the league, getting to finals and losing, Champions League against Liverpool, you know, League Cups, etc. And it's like, what doesn't help, and I know this sounds bad, and I don't want to disrespect any Tottenham fans that may be watching or watch us on the replay, right? But, you know, Nuno Espirito doesn't sort of, you know, breathe confidence. You're thinking, yes, we're going to challenge. It just doesn't. You know, I know we've done a good job at Wolverhampton Wanderers, you know, at that level, brought them in for the Championship, you know, made them a stable Premier League club. You know, the good football brought in a lot of Portuguese internationals. But are Tottenham going to challenge with him at the helm? I don't think so. And I think Harry Kane, at his age, 28, 29 years of age, right, he wants to win titles and he deserves to win titles. You know, I've got nothing against Harry Kane. He's a good player.
The reason he's acting the way he's acting, Laser, is because he had the gentleman's agreement with Daniel Levy. He shook his hand. He said, "I'll sign this contract, but if you don't win anything in the next couple of years, I'm going to be going because you know I'm going to be 28. I need to win trophies to show for my actual CV that I've won something in life." And then as soon as that moment came, as soon as that moment came. they went back on their words, and now look how it's going. He's only punishing what he's done wrong on him. But
yeah, but basically he's throwing his toys at the pram. Yeah. That's what he's doing now. In the end, this goes back to players' power.
Okay, they lied to you. Yeah, they lied to you, but don't forget the supporters of that club. At the end of the day,
of course, you still got to remain professional. You got to remain professional, man. Do you know what I'm saying? And it doesn't set a good example as well, man. He's the England captain and a full international. You know, he's a senior player. Big up to yourself, C-Joy, who voted no in the poll. I saw that poll.
I always love it, man.
Big up to yourself, Aziz. Big up to yourself. Yes. Thanks for tuning in, guys, man. Don't forget to hit that like button as well, guys. And if you're watching us on the replay, big respect to yourselves as well. Please subscribe. And don't forget as well, head over to our other platform. That's UF Talk. Unscripted football talk. We've rebranded. We had a bit of hiccups, technical difficulties with copyright, etc. But we're coming back. The yellow and black is back. Hopefully tomorrow afternoon, we're going to be streaming, doing a live watch along for the game. Manchester City and the FA Cup winners Leicester City for the Charity Shield. Yes, Charity Shield, aka the Community Shield. So stay tuned, man. You know what to do. Follow us on Instagram. Most of you've already followed us on Instagram. LFC Red Forever and my Instagram, Laser LFC. And just get all the updates and information. And we're going to try and bring the content to you, you know, because we have slacked a bit. You know, some of it's due to illness and other personal commitments. But now, this season, I can't wait. We've got so much in store for you. And as well, guys, this Sunday, my partner in crime, I'm going to get my bearings right. He's going to be live and direct at Anfield Stadium. No, you. My computer's saying that way. No, you. live and direct from Anfield Stadium.
We go to Anfield here. We go and watch games here, man. We go
Buzz
to the
is going to be there. I'm
games.
going to be in the studio and we're doing the live stream watch along between Liverpool and Athletic Bilbao. And then next week we got Norwich City away. So guys, stay tuned to the platform, man. Like, share, and subscribe. So who are we going to talk about next now? Are we going to talk about one of the greatest footballers?
I had to refer back to Kane, but we was talking about Chelsea. What positions do they need to fill in order for you to consider them as a title contender on a regular basis?
Who?
Chelsea.
Which team? Oh, Chelsea.
Chelsea.
They're not the striking position, bro. And they're pretty much set. Yeah, I think the striker, they got them the goalkeepers. We know Kepa's not the toughest keeper, but he's coming to a little bit of form under Tuchel now. And then they got the other keeper as well, Mendy. Right, so they got the two. It looks like they do this rotational thing, you know, who they're playing in the Champions League. You know, they've got decent back line. You know, I know they're going to have to actually... they're going to have to... that's probably Patrick. They're going to have to... I think it's 4:30, the Community Shield. I'll double check.
Yeah. 4:35. Yeah.
So basically, Chelsea need to replace. They still need another centre back right back because Silva is getting on now. Silva's not for the future. You know, they got Christensen. Yeah. So those positions will see them
Rudiger
up there.
Well.
Rudiger. But they still need another top solid one because Silva's 36, bro, 37. You ain't going to be there for long. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes it gets subbed off a lot as well. So, for me, whether it remains Tuchel could, you know, get the Premier League on lock remains to be seen because we know Chelsea don't give much time to their managers. You know what I mean? And I've heard you say this a lot, Fuzzy, when a lot of other teams work them out because they haven't worked out Chelsea.
He only plays one system. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
And he only plays one system.
And a couple of times they've been caught out cold. If you notice in games, they struggle to score, and that's why they need that number 9. So for me, I believe with Liverpool's first 11, and if we get a signing at the end of the day, as long as everyone's fit and firing, Virgil van Dijk, we've got Thiago, you know, Jota, our front line, say no more, you know. Yeah. And we got Konate at the back as well. He's so powerful, pacey. You know, he reads the game well for his age, right? He's got good attributes. We can challenge Manchester City. It's all about getting that fast start.
Every time we do a fast start, we challenge City, as everybody knows. And we're not good with, you know, like when we're head to head near the end of the season, because there's always a screw job, you know, waiting for us at the end. So it's better like, getting the points on the board and moving up. That's what I say. Aziz says, forget about the obviously Charity Shield.
Classic.
Yes, nice one, Fuzzy. Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
I was so pissed when we lost the Community Shield 2 years in a row.
Yeah,
Listen,
it was.
we're
It
not
was
going
more
to win
the Arsenal
everything.
one for me. I wasn't screwed about the City one because I knew we were going to challenge anyway. And if anything, us losing to Man City on penalties made us hungrier to challenge for the league, which we did. We blew everyone out of the water. But the Arsenal one is the one what made me think, nah, man, we should have won that one. We were laxy days. We didn't treat it with respect.
Yeah.
You know, there was if you remember, it was a depleted team in that game,
Yeah.
and it was sort of like we'll just see what happens. You know what I'm saying? And everyone was talking rubbish.
He said even if it's a shitty trophy. So
all the Arsenal fans were talking gas, saying, Klopp's Arteta's got Klopp's number. What are they smoking? What are they smoking, bro? Come on, man.
Still smoking that weed, mate.
Yeah, still smoking that gog.
So let's move on to Man United, mate. They made one signing, one is on the way. What threat are they going to be next season, bro?
Man United.
What do they need basically to challenge for the title as well? Like,
I'll tell you what they need.
Players, or are you happy with what they got?
I tell you what, Manchester United need to challenge for the Premier League title. They need a good manager. That's what Man United need. They need a proper manager, bro. They ain't gonna challenge for the Premier League under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and that, bro. And I know you, Casper, might come in here, or any other Man United fans might say, "Oh, what you on about, man? Liverpool fans, this, that, and that." I'm just being real here. I'm being real. For me, I don't see Ole Gunnar Solskjaer taking Man United to that next level where they need to be. 90+ points barrier, Champions League semi-finals and finals. I don't see it. Every time they've almost been there. If it was any other manager, I believe they would have had 2 domestic trophies by now, whether that be a League Cup, FA Cup, and the Europa League. For me personally, Man United still need quite a lot done in their side. They've got aging players like Mata, Matic, those sort of players. Like, do you know what I mean with it? Fred blows hot and
De
cold.
Gea as well, yeah.
De Gea. You know, the Henderson's not quite ready. For me, I'm hearing a lot of their fans saying, "Oh, we got a very top keeper, one of the world's best up and coming." No chance. I don't know if they're having a wind up when they say these things. I'm reading this on Redcalf, you know, their main forum. But, you know, Varane comes to them, you know, which it looks like he's going to get done. That's a good signing, him and...
Do you think he's world class? They say he's one of the best goalkeepers, the defenders in the world. I can debate that. But
You know what? This is a hard one because 4 years ago he was. And then for me, Fuzzy, something happened to him. I don't know what it was. He lost his way. I don't know. Yeah. I used to look at him. I used to fancy him a lot, thinking he's wicked,
I think he got injured a lot. I think he got injured a lot.
Man. And he was instrumental when they won their 3-peat, Real Madrid, you know, the 3 European Cups and that. But something's happened to him, and can he stand up to the rigours of the Premier League? Because it's physical, it's tough. You know, Man United, there's going to be times where they're going to get stuck in, you know, the lower sides. It's not going to be like in Spain, where they have it easy. And it's all technical and it's on the floor. In the Premier League, a lot of these low teams, they have the ball in the air, the corners. Can he handle it? Who knows? But he's a very good defender. I'm not sure about the world class levels. It's just probably a little bit under, if that makes sense. Yeah. Just a little bit under. Do you know what I mean? But I'm not worried about getting him. Sancho will be a good acquisition. But again, is it one of those another glamour signings like what they've done with Depay? And they just feel like we need to rush a player of that ilk into the squad? Because for me, they were the only real team that was in for him.
I looked at him and Greenwood. I think to myself, Greenwood could score more, probably create more as well. And he's younger as well, and he's more pacey. And then you look at Sancho. Do they really need Sancho? I don't think they do, bro.
You know what it is? It's a luxury signing.
It's just buy to please the fans.
It's a luxury signing. And this is what you said. I heard you say this the other day. And what that done, them buying... Have you noticed something? I haven't heard any Man United fans wearing green and yellow anymore. I haven't heard them piping up. I ain't heard them saying, F the Glazers. You know, all of a sudden they get Sancho and then they just feel nice. You see, that's fickle football fans for you. And that's what that signing was for. That signing was to appease the fans, keep them sweet. And it's worth a bit, you know. Only the true diehard original fans will be like, nah, we're not feeling it. But it's But for me, he would do bits for Man United, you know. He'll be running on the wings, you know. He's got good drive. But as for scoring a bag of goals, I don't see it happening. him scoring a lot of goals.
That's what.
You know what I'm saying?
If Greenwood gets benched, that's what they're gonna miss. That's what they're gonna miss, like a bag of goals, a player that gets bag of goals, and creates goals as well.
And it's weird.
Let's read out the messages.
Yeah.
They need Messi or a miracle. That's made us.
A bloody hope. Now imagine seeing him rack up there. Oh my days. Man, I'll cry on stream. I would. You know what I mean? It's just that, not the fact that Messi still got what it takes. That way he's 34 now. But I just wouldn't want to see a player go to that team. And I'm sorry, Man United fans. It's just me being Liverpool now. But as we're saying about Liverpool now, if you look at Jadon Sancho, not so long ago, he was in the reserves at Manchester City. He was in the youth team. And Manchester City had him surplus to requirements. He didn't want to wait for... he didn't want to wait, to give him a chance. Pep Guardiola wasn't ready to integrate him into the first team. It took Foden a while. So he thought, all right, then I'm going to take my chance elsewhere. And Dortmund sacked him. And he's done okay in, the Bundesliga. But when you look at the characteristics between him and Greenwood, they're both homegrown English players. Greenwood could score goals. So what's the difference? All it is that Sancho's got a fancy name. Imagine Sancho's name wasn't Sancho. Imagine it was Davidson.
Well, let me give you an example. He failed at City. City got rid of him. What makes him like all of a sudden a world beater in a couple of years? He needs time. He needs time to develop.
This is what I'm saying, and this is why I'm not worried. We might have another debate on our hands, and that's for me hoping. But for me, I don't personally see Man United flying at the box and challenging Manchester City and getting the required points level to win the title. I just don't see it. I was going to see it as Liverpool and Chelsea there and about. It all, like I said, and I don't want to sound like a broken record, it all boils down to getting that crucial fast start, getting the points on the board early as a buffer. You have to. You know what I'm saying? You got to account that for injuries and stuff as well, because every team gets injuries. Yes, Liverpool had a bag of them last year, but there's always a team that loses a pivotal player in their squad for an extended period of time. So that's the key. Who can remain the fittest? It's the survival of the fittest, basically.
Of course, bro. As he says, but Ole at the wheel, hope he stays forever. Ole at the wheel will stay probably for a long time, because I think they're waiting for that moment when Pep Guardiola and Klopp leave the Premier League. That's what they're waiting for. Let's just be honest here. And as soon as they leave, they're gonna try pants on the Premier League again like they used to. But you never know in football what can happen. It's gonna be obviously. Thank you for coming on. Another good chat from Laser and Fozzy and Laser. Everyone, like and subscribe.
Big up to yourself, Amina.
She's a wise woman. She's a wise woman.
Listen to Amina B. Yes, Dan. Dan. Turf Morehouse TV in the playhouse.
Does City have the power to just buy a player in form and not use him? It's true. It's 100% right.
Yes.
Bournemouth sold them Nathaniel Ike, and he's gone to Sweet FO.
Fuck off.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I can't say the words.
The stockpile, certain players. Big up to yourself, Dan. Turf Morehouse TV, Mr. Burnley in the place, doing bits of that.
Greedy City.
Don't sleep on this guy, just because he's like, Burnley and stuff. And that, pay him a visit. Go over there and pay him a visit. He's going to be doing quite a lot of stuff with you two. We're hoping to do a collaboration when Liverpool play Burnley in a couple of weeks' time. But anyway, as he alluded to, they did that. And he must be, yes, sometimes it's the money. But I wonder what Nathan Ake, Rude Hullet Light, is thinking to himself, because he was playing regular first team football. He wasn't doing the business at Chelsea. If you remember at Chelsea, right? He was at Chelsea. Then he got loaned to Watford. He got loaned to Bournemouth. Then Bournemouth bought him. Then he went back to Chelsea for 6 months. Do you remember that?
Yeah,
and then Chelsea said, nah, we don't want you. So there's a reason why, and he's done okay at Bournemouth. But then Man City's bought him for 14 million papers, right? And they've done, as Dan said, they've done F4 with him. He's done nothing with him.
It's like he says,
greedy City. Miserable. He's just got his dreads out, and it's like that on the bench, like just looking. He might have had a couple of League Cup games, and that's what Man City could do. Who else does things like that? You tell me what other team in the Premier League or in Europe spends £40 million, right, on a player and lets him rot on the bench?
50 million for Mendy as well.
But he's no good anymore, bro. What happened is he kept getting injured and he's no good anymore. That's what happened. Do you know what I'm saying? That's Manchester City for you, ruining the Premier League since 2009.
It's never going to end, mate. It's never going to end. Yeah, so we move on. Obviously, we move on to Arsenal and Ben White, like Finnes said, 50 million they bought him for. What do you think about Arsenal's ambition this season? What are they going to do in the Premier League?
Arsenal's ambition is to try and crack into the, as they did last year, bro. They're not going to challenge for the title. And I'm just being honest. It's going to be to crack into the top 6 and try and sneak into the top 4. Just like what Brendan Rodgers tried to do with Leicester. You always get a team that tries to do it, but they can't maintain it. I don't see Arsenal, as it stands, finishing in the top 4, top 6 at best. Yes, they've got Ben White. Yeah. I don't know what's happening with Xhaka. And I heard you say this the other day. I don't think I did a stream with you, Fuzzy. I think it was yesterday's stream. And I was clapping when you said it. That was it. It was the yesterday games. And you said Xhaka done good in the Euros. And he did. He's done very good for his national side in the Euros. But for some reason, when he's at Arsenal, I don't know if it's to do with the fans, the pressure. It's like he loses his head on the pitch. He does these weird things. Don't you think, Fuzzy?
He's temperamental.
Yeah,
player,
man.
That's what
He's got no discipline.
But the thing is, Laser, when you got bad players around you, you know what I mean, and you're the best of a bad bunch, that's how you're going to perform, isn't it?
Yeah.
It happened to a lot of players in the past as well, as I can remember. Yeah. So, yeah, he's a good player. He'll be a good player in a good team. That's what I said.
Dan, you're giving me joke, Dan. Arsenal's ambition is to make top 10, let alone the top 6. You crap me up. But you know what, though? Yeah. I don't really know if Arsenal, right? Good signing they've made. It's a good acquisition signing Ben White, because we were sort of had a little link to him last year, but I don't think we wanted to pay those stupid monies for him. It was out of the question. You know what I mean? There's no way Liverpool were going to pay that sort of money for Ben White. He's a good player. I've watched him at Brighton for a good deal of time. They've got Tierney that's coming onto form. He's a good player as well on the left-hand side. For me, Willian is not really the player that's required to get you titles in this day and age. I think his days at the top is done. Aubameyang, sometimes when I look at him, does he want to be at Arsenal? Him and that,
as soon as he's got that contract.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So for me, same as last year, same. They're not a threat.
Nothing's going to change, yeah?
They're not a threat,
wow.
No.
Yeah, as he says, no quality in that team, 100%. Yeah. Listen, with Arsenal, like I've always said in the past streams, they've lost their identity, and a lot of people had a go at me about it, especially the Arsenal fans. But they went from powerful team like Vieira's and Petit, these kind of players. Like Tony Adams, Sol Campbell of this world, Gilberto, I can name a lot of Arsenal players. You know what I mean? And then they go to low center of gravity players, the small players, and then you think to yourself you go from there to there, and then it's horrendous. And the fans are having a go at the manager, the owners, and all that stuff. It's because you lost your identity. That's why you are where you are.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. They got their wish. They drove Wenger out of the club, and now looks what happened. You know what I'm saying? And when you think about it, Arsenal haven't been in the Champions League for 4 years now. And another thing, it's all good teasing teams like Liverpool. Yes, Liverpool went way too long without winning the league title. 30 years. Yeah. And even when I say that, I think 30 years. That is longer than a lot of some of the viewers that are tuning into our show. So that is a long time. But Arsenal are going on 17 years without a league trophy. 17 years. 2004 was the last time they won the English top championship. 17 years ago. Now, rewind back to 17 years ago. Could you envisage it being that long? Because they were still good. I know Chelsea came on the scene. So anything could happen. Man United's going to be nearly 10 years. You see?
Yeah.
So
that's
9 years.
2030,
so that's exactly 8 years, 9 seasons. You know what I'm saying? So
I agree with you there.
It's a cycle. Yeah, I agree with you there. As is
top 6 out of reach, in my opinion, for Arsenal. 100%. Yeah, 100%. Nathan Collins or Ben White? No, which I'd pick.
Big up to yourself, Finnes. It is.
Thanks,
with Joe, man. But yeah, man, I think we need to talk about now. Right, because I think we need to talk about this because this is big news that's come in the recent last 2 days, and we need to talk about one of the greatest ever players to grace the footballing field, to grace this planet, and I'm talking about the very few and far between. I can reel them off: Maradona, R9, Pele. This player is Lionel Messi. Lionel Messi is a free agent. He's leaving Barcelona. I've tuned into all the news sources today. Spain TV, you know, their version of Sky Sports News, Twitter, etc. And it looks like no deal could be done between both parties. So basically what I've heard is Barcelona, I've got this thing where the Liga have set this cap. So Barcelona can't go back on there, where basically what Messi's being paid, the vast sums of wages, right? Yeah. It's going to go against all what they've already stood for in the Liga. Yeah. You know, they're broke. And what they've done, they've picked up a lot of free agents. You know, they tried to get Ronaldo. He was a free agent, but he turned them down and went to PSG for more money. So they got Depay, they got Sergio Aguero. I can't remember the other player. There was one other player. They got a youngster. He'll come back to me in a bit. But anyway, yeah, and they can't afford to pay him. And for me, realistically, the only other two clubs in the footballing world that can pay his wages, because he's even said he was willing to take a pay cut. I can't remember the percent. It was a high percent. I should have done my stats with me. I think
it was lower than what he's getting, isn't it?
It was a very big cut, but Barcelona still can't afford to pay him. And it tells you what you need to know what he's on. So the other teams that's in the running is PSG, realistically. Now, I've looked at their squad, right? And they've had some good acquisitions this season. A lot of them are free as well. They've got Ronaldo, you know, Ramos. Do you know what I'm saying? If you look at their line, I don't know if you want to get it up on screen, if you can do that, Fuzzy, after, just for the people in a moment, if you can. You know, I expect PSG to at least challenge and get to the semi-finals, finals of the Champions League, because they're another team that are blowing money. And they're not having nothing to show for it. They didn't even win their domestic title last season. But you got to remember as well, people, last season was an anomaly. There was no crowd. It was a pandemic. You know, a lot of teams had injuries. There was no pre-season as well. So it was a funny season last year. So, you know, but 9 times out of 10, they're always winning the French league title. But yeah, Lionel Messi. And if he was to come to Man City, oh my God, then it's all over.
Look at the goalkeepers. Look at the goalkeepers.
That's it. Donnarumma. And I remember we was linked to him long time ago, Fuzzy. I'm happy with who we got. Alisson. Alisson's better than him. But I remember he was the next big thing. Because he's young, he's a kid.
They got Hakimi as well.
That's it. Hakimi.
Ramos.
Yeah.
More or less similar players they had before. That's a powerful defense. And then you go to the midfield.
Look at the first 11, because this is the squad.
Rafinha, Thiago's brother.
Yeah.
Obviously Di Maria. Oh man, they've got so many players.
Them, man.
Now them, bro. Hurts, mate. Hurts in there. Look at the midfield, man. Look at this.
What about the Guy last season? What about just a Guy? You know, Guy, number 27. He disappeared last season. Was he injured?
Ex-Everton player.
I know. Was he injured?
Did he get sent off on one of the games or something?
In the semi-finals, but he was injured for a period of time. I think he had an injury, bro. Yeah, he did. You know what I mean? Imagine Messi reunites with Neymar and Mbappe. Oh my God, bro. Like, literally, bro. You know what it is? Got me on big screen right here. You didn't see what I did then. The viewers might have seen what I've done. It's literally drooling time. I was drooling. I put my water on, the Pepsi drooled it out. Bro, Messi, Mbappe, and Neymar as a front three.
That's sick.
Flipping now.
That's like the Barcelona one, isn't it? Suarez, Messi, and Neymar. Yeah.
I don't think Messi will have a field day in the Liga. He will.
Woo!
He will, bro. He will.
Nothing what does Turf Moore say, Ben? What did Turf Moore say here? Ben White.
You have to read it out. Ben White is overhyped. Had one good season at Leeds alone, living off that. Hope he has a good career as an English defender. Yeah, a lot of English players are overhyped, man. It's the way it is over here in England. It's just the way how it is.
Nathan Collins is in
a heartbeat.
Finners, bro. Yeah, it's listen, you can't deny that.
Yeah.
You can't deny that anyway. If anyone's gonna get the best out of Messi now, it's Sean Dyche, not Frodiola.
I think I seen you do a little edit. I'm sure it was your page today. I looked on Instagram and I seen the edit and I seen him and I thought, raw. I thought Messi, claret and blue. I thought, fuck it. Wow. I mentioned that.
As he says, I smell both Messi, Kane joining City. with BA jokes.
Nah,
Can't
don't
happen.
say that, man. That's just mad.
Nah.
If they do that, if I want an inquiry immediately looked into,
Yeah.
because that stinks. Nobody could tell me differently. If they manage to get both of those, that on top of Grealish, bro, we're talking excess of free. You know, Messi signing on fee alone would be mad.
You know,
Agent fees.
everybody talks about, you know, City spending and all that stuff, and they don't spend over 100 million and all that stuff. That's what I keep hearing a lot. But what you need to understand is what they pay the agent, what they pay the club underneath, and then it probably all adds up over 100 million at the end of the day anyway. You know what I mean? So it's not always like City don't spend 100 million. They do. They actually do. They do it in a way which is sly way. Stats are in Messi took a 90% wage cut to join Burnley. He'll still be their highest earner. Oh my goodness me. Yeah, so Laser, let's just touch on obviously.
Yeah, just before Messi, we touch on the next one, is Messi leaving Barcelona, or is it all a ruse? Come on, guys, let us know in the comments. What do you think my partner's trying?
A lot of journalists are saying it's all fake again. He's gonna stay at Barcelona again, and it's just fake news. That's what I've been hearing. But the chairman or whatever it is, the president came on TV the other day. He was saying they can't pay the wages and all that stuff, so he has to go. But listen, a lot of journalists that's close to the club, they do say he's gonna stay at Barcelona, 100%. So. Watch this space. So let's move on finally to our own club. What are we gonna do this season, mate? Like it's hard to tell, mate.
Oh gosh, man, I've been speaking to so many of our fan base, man. It's just, you know, this, that, and now. I've got some guys that relaxed with it, and I've got a lot of guys and the younger heads. You know, they'll be messaging me in my DMs or whether it's you know, WhatsApp, etc. And there's just FSGI, and a lot of people are panicking. And for me, yes, I'm not happy. I'm not going to sit here and pretend, I'm all right with it. I'm not happy that we haven't done any business and we've done it early and we've got players. It would be nice for a change to have a couple of signings in place before the season starts. You know, I remember them days back in the day, and it feels like ages. You know, I know we did it with Alisson, Fabinho. You know, that year when we did it, we already had Van Dijk. Who else did we get? And then we had Keita, but he already signed the season before, and he went back on loan. But that's it, and But like, I believe we'll get someone in, but I believe it's not going to be between now and next week when we play Norwich. I believe it'll be right at the end of the window, come September the 1st, and it looks like we'll get Niguez in, and it will be a good acquisition for Liverpool. Me personally, I said this already. I would have liked Tielemans to come to us. He knows the Premier League inside out. He scores goals. Right, and for me, it's tailor-made for Liverpool. But Leicester City, it's going to take an arm and a leg to get him. We're talking about, like I said, to look what Grealish went for. Now Leicester City will be looking and thinking, hang on a minute. No way they're going to let Tielemans go under 70 million. If they're asking for 70 million for Maddison, what does it tell you, bro? Tielemans is better than Maddison. Tielemans is better than Maddison, bro. Maddison hasn't. I remember there was a conversation. And people were saying Maddison versus Grealish. I always said Grealish. Maddison went on that overhype train. Do you remember? Not last season, the season and before.
He's gone down now,
his head went too big. I remember him saying Leicester were challenging for the league against us, and we spanked them 4-0 on Boxing Day. You remember? And I remember before that, Leicester were on their run, and it was like, we're one of the big boys now. Yeah, I'm a big player. And I remember thinking, mate, you wait till you touch our players and you see what's going to happen. And he done F1 in that game, you know, and he got overhyped too quickly. Do you know what I'm saying? So for me, like I said, if he goes for 70 million, then what's Tielemans going to go on? I just think Liverpool, we're not going to do that sort of business. You know, we've been linked with Bowens for up front. For me, we need a striker.
Laser, don't you think it's kind of unfair? Like, you know, I can't call them small, you know, like lesser clubs than Liverpool, Man United, Chelsea, Arsenal, or whatever it is. Lesser clubs sell players over the odds, but when we sell players, we sell it for the cheap. The top players, the top teams sell. I was going to say don't think it's unfair.
Give me a moment.
Shouldn't the top teams players?
So go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Yeah, shouldn't the top teams be the ones that's going to be selling players for the inflated prices? Why do we always go to these smaller clubs and pay over the odds?
This is mad because I heard the other day now, I can't remember what team it was it Wolves? And apparently, Divock Origi for 10 million. And yes, Divock Origi hasn't done good in the last season, let's say probably even 18 months, but 10 million's taking the piss, bro. That's taking the piss. Even Shaqiri for 12 million's taking the mick. Yes, we got him on a free, but that was then. So what?
Yeah.
That was then. What did we pay for Shaqiri? Was it a free or was it on a free?
It was around 13
It was something stupid, innit? Yeah. That was it. Come on, man. That, for me, is an international player. Yeah. He should be at least asking in the excess of 20 million, 18 million. But then I can hear the other coin of the argument where Liverpool are in no position to be asking these high wages, high fees for players because they're just rotting around our bench. They're not getting the look in. Yeah. But at the same time, a club of our size and stature, we shouldn't be just accepting little. If other teams are letting their players go for X, Y, and Z, then why are we just going to accept that? And for me, it's not good enough. And these players should have had clubs from long time. And I think teams now know we're desperate. They now know Liverpool is buying to sell. So what's happening now? We're going to push it and push it to the end because Origi should have already been gone. We're going to go into the new season and it should have been gone, bro. As soon as it was June, as soon as the league finished last season, he should have already had a team lined up. Whether it's a team in Turkey, Belgium or wherever it is, an Italian team, a low German team, So I don't think he will go to a top team, even Shaqiri, and we're here messing about, scramping around for scraps. And basically what we're doing is we're going to clear these players before we're going to buy someone, bro. That's all it is. And it's no good.
We discussed it obviously in the previous stream on my channel. I said, you asked me before that, you said, what are you still FSG at? Are you changing your mind about them? I said to you, I'm always FSG at no matter what, because they don't buy the players we need at the right times, and we have to sell players on a regular basis for us to compete. It shouldn't be like that. If we're at the top, you've got to keep yourself at the top. You should never drop from there. We've dropped pretty bad last season.
We don't act like a big club, man.
And then we buy two centre, so we get two centre backs. One we buy for 1 million or something like that. The other one we get on loan. That was not even needed.
I know.
They didn't even play at the end.
First. Have you seen Ben Davies? 1 minute.
I'm still waiting for him.
I'm going to look for him.
I'm still waiting for that guy.
Ben Davies. Don't know where he is, bro. And you know what? What's reached huge alarm bells, and I don't know what was going on. Where has Ben Davies been to be seen in pre-season? I ain't seen him.
I would love to. I'd love to know, mate.
I haven't seen him, bro. It tells you what you need to know.
This is our team, bro. You know what I mean? Look at this. The more or less players we had the majority of the seasons. Konate is the new one. Ben Davies is there still. I mean, so basically we got two defenders in January, and then we started playing the last 10 games. These two here, Reece Williams and Nathaniel Phillips, and then we started winning games. And I think to myself, why did you just do that? Yeah, why did you actually do that in January? Play these two, then probably would be in a better place in the Premier League. You know what I mean? Because we were top in January anyway. So it's just like the mindset of the club is just it's really frustrating because you got to think about it this way, Laser.
Yeah.
Klopp deserves better. Let's just be honest here.
Of course, bro, man. Of course.
For what he's done with this limited financial side of things and the squad he has, he's done a miracle, bro. Absolutely a miracle. And owners like this who are not supporting him is not accepted. But like I said, Laser, I just want to start the season. We'll see where we're going to go. Mid-season, if we're not fighting for the Premier League, then I'm going to pounce on those owners. I'll say, you know what, let's all gather together and get them out as soon as possible, because there's no ambition in this club anymore. Because we're going to drop pretty bad, Laser. You know that. We're going to drop so bad, it's going to be hard
and to recover. And that's my worry, man, if we don't get anything
we've seen it before, Laser. We've seen it before.
Yeah, we've seen it too many times before, bro. The worry is what's going to happen for life after Klopp. We've got to start planning for now. And it seems to me that Klopp wants to build the next team. Jota's the future. Konate is the future. As much as Gomez gets injured, he's the future. He's only, 23 or 24. That's young for a central defender. The likes of Van Dijk, players like that are not going to be here forever. Milner's not going to be here forever. Henderson's not going to be here forever. They're pushing on 30. So we've got to build now. We've got to build a nice, fresh, young side. And I think that's what FSG is planning to do. Because when you think about it, whether we like it or not, we don't sign Galacticos, mercenaries. No. We don't sign that. We make players. Jurgen Klopp. They struck gold with Jurgen Klopp. Let's make no bones about it. FSG got lucky with a manager of Jurgen Klopp's caliber. Do you know what I'm saying? We're lucky to have him at the helm. We are. We're very lucky to have Jurgen Klopp. He's the best manager in the world. And like I'm saying now,
By far.
yep, we've got to build for the future, you know. And this is what Jurgen Klopp's done. Look what he's turned Andy Robinson into. Look what he's turned Trent Alexander-Arnold into. These guys weren't heard of 4 years ago.
Yeah.
3 years, well, 4 years ago, that wasn't heard. Do you know what I'm saying? He's made players and he's taken them to the next level. Salah's, your Mane's, Firmino, you know, for example, we know them, you name it, you know. So, yeah, man, we've got to plan for the future. We just got to live by our means now. Going on to Liverpool.
Yeah.
We're just going to have to suck it in and deal with it. We can't keep moaning about it and losing. One thing is, though, if FSG do not buy any signings, and let's say we run into some difficulties and issues this coming season, and let's say even in January we don't get anyone, then I think our fan base are going to make them know. They're going to feel the wrath of the fan base, and we're going to be very vocal about it. And that's
They've never seen it. They've never seen anything like it, bro.
And we'll start
coming out. Like it.
Make them think they're getting away with it because they haven't. You know, because there's a huge proportion of our fan base that's kicking up a fuss. But I think we're just waiting, you know, keeping our powder dry and just waiting for that moment to come. You know, but I think we should have a good season. We're still a top team. We still got top players. And like I said, as I keep on saying, it's about whether we get that fast start. For me, it's a fast start. We've got to be... Liverpool's got to know how to break down these part of the bus sides now and get the 3 points. None of this throwing points away at the end of games and getting a draw. They're no good. When you want to win titles, draws are no good. Do you know what I mean, Faz? But yeah, man, I'm looking forward to it, man.
I've always said that, like, especially this season, like, we need to find a way to break teams. Obviously, Van Dijk is back. Van Dijk was the main man for breaking teams down in past seasons, because if we couldn't break them down, they take a set piece and Van Dijk will score a goal. That's how it was.
And that's what he was doing, And
last
and
season,
a lot of teams were marking him, and he was leaving it free for other players. So sometimes Matic was getting goals in that Premier League season at the start. You know, we're getting the flick-ons. And then what was happening, sometimes Trent will put the ball back into the box for the second ball, and we'll get a goal, like a ricochet or deflection. So it was crucial, you know, for the height.
We've got to find other avenues now, mate. You can't, like, just in case those two defenders get injured again.
Of course, man.
We need other avenues. We need to
course.
learn how to do like eye of a needle pass, you know, cross that at the right time. You know, you have to be clinical in front of goals. Well, why don't we ever go for strikers, Laser? Why do
I don't know,
just
bro.
accept midfield as strikers? Like, why do we do that, bro? Like, what are we gonna have an out-and-out striker like Fowler and Rush? When are we gonna have that?
I don't think that's gonna happen for now under Klopp's tenure. You know, the way how we play with the 4-3-3. You know, because
he had that before at Dortmund. He had that at Dortmund.
Yeah, but I think this is. I know. I think it's the way Mane and Salah fell into his hands. Everything just fell into place. There was no plan. You remember Salah was his second choice. Salah wasn't even Klopp's first choice. It was actually was it Edwards? It wasn't Klopp that went out.
It was the scat team.
It wasn't Klopp. Didn't say what Salah. So, do you know what I mean? Everything's just fell into place, and it worked, the 4-3-3. I think Klopp was going to change the system, because prior to that, he was tinkering, he was getting used to the way of things at Liverpool. You know, we had a lot of players that needed going anyway in the 16-17 season, and we were always going to build on that 17-18, and as you know, 18-19, we won the Champions League, etc. But yeah, man, I'm not 100% worried. What worries me is the injuries, bro. The Nabicators, the Oxys, the Gomez, the Matips. Can Konate stand up to the rigours of the Premier League? Do you know what I'm saying? Is Van Dijk going to be the same? Things like that. That's the only thing that's got a little worry in my mind. I'm thinking, I hope we just have a nice clean run and we just go, you know, and just challenge for the title and get number 7, man. I want number 7 back, bro. I don't know about you. I haven't talk about it. I want a good run in the Champions League. You know, we shouldn't have been getting knocked out in the round of 16. We should be always there to the end with the team that we have. But yeah, before we go, I think we should touch up on some of the lower sides, what business they've done, if you want to do that. The likes of Aston Villa, because I think they've had an excellent
What do you think of Danny Ings, mate? What do you think of Danny Ings going to
Brilliant
Aston Villa,
acquisition for Villa, bro. Absolute steal.
Yeah.
Brilliant signing that is. That's, you know, Liam Bailey as well. That is a very, very good signing. I don't know if you want to get stuck up on the screen.
Liam Bailey? I don't know much about him. How good is
He's a good player, bro. He's a good player, and I think he will suit Aston Villa to team. We were looking at him a couple of seasons back, you know. But I don't know what happened there. We were looking at him. He's a good player, man. Pacey, scores goals. You know, he's physical. Excuse me, and I think he would do good for Villa. I think Villa will be all right this season. You know, I think their aim is to get into the top 10 and remain a top 10 side, not battling, messing about, you know, with relegation. You know, they're going to have their fans back at Villa Park. You know, it's close to where I live. And they're a good club, Aston Villa are, you know. They're a good club, man.
They are.
They're a well-run club.
So what do you think? What do you think of obviously Crystal Palace, Patrick Vieira being there? Not a lot of black managers around nowadays. Is he gonna find it tough, or is he gonna survive?
I think he's gonna find it tough, bro. I think he's gonna find it very tough because he has a way how he wants to play his football. He's been over to the MLS in America. MLS, you know, who else did he manage?
I think
someone in France.
Nice
in France, yeah. And he struggled. You know, even Thierry Henry had a dabble at management, and I don't think it's for everyone. I think he's more the business side of things behind the scenes. What I've seen him done as a manager, he just doesn't look like he has it. He has a vision how he wants to play football, but I think you've got to have a bit more to you, being a manager than a coach and being someone that's there. Do you know what I'm saying? I just think he's got some decent players at Crystal Palace. You know, looks like Saha's going to stay again. It looks like he's destined to stay there forever. He's trying to get out, but it's just not happening. You know, they've got Eze, good young kid. He's a good kid. You know, they've got some decent players, but I just think he's going to struggle, bro. I think he's going to struggle for me. And I'm not saying relegation. I just think you remember when you would remember this. The ball was at Palace. Yeah. Remember?
Yeah. He struggled. And
after his 6th game, he got sacked. After 6 games, bro. 6 games. So,
I remember,
do you know what I'm saying? I just think the players.
I hope he does it, man.
I would love to see him do well. Of course, man.
There's a lot of people like already gunning for him to get the sack first, but
already.
We're all hoping he survives because you know, like in the Premier League, it's not just like pleasing the chairman. You know, you have to get through to the players. You have to get through to the fans. You have to convince them like you could do more than what you're showing. I mean, it's so much layers in this for him to like overcome. And I feel for him in that way as well, mate. Because he deserves a chance. He deserves a chance, bro. I mean, so I hope he does well with it. As he says, PSG want to win in Europe. And national trophies too far for sure after the fiasco of last season. Obviously they've done well in the Champions League, but you know they always have that. When the final moments, they always fail.
That inferiority complex. That's what they have, man. It's a mental thing with them. You know what I'm saying? There's been many times where to me they should have won one by now. Really?
Come on, man. With the amount of money you spent,
and they've had good. You know what it is? They've had like a great first leg and then mess it up in the second leg. That's what's weird with them. They're just a weird team, man. I don't know what it is. They got to get over that hurdle. And it might not be with the squad they got now. It might be in another couple of years' time when you least expect it. Once the namers go, those sort of players. And then, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of pressure on them to perform in Europe on that stage. But going on the Premier League now, I think the Premier League's going to be, let's talk about Southampton getting Minamino. On a permanent deal, and I think he should go.
Wow.
I think he should go, bro. I don't think he should stay at Liverpool. He doesn't stay with us, bro. He doesn't suit us. I think we should take the money. Anything go for 10 million and run. We paid 7 million for it. Just take it and go. 12-13 million pounds.
What do you think of Everton as well, Rafa Benitez, man? Is he gonna do anything good over there?
I still can't believe he's managing them. Bro. I'm not happy with it if I'm going to be honest. A lot of people are wishing him luck. Yes, I'm wishing him luck because he's the next manager of ours and he's a nice man. You know, he's done a lot for the city of Liverpool and, you know, the Hillsborough stuff and all that. And but for me, I can't wish him well for Everton. I just can't. If you know what I mean, it just doesn't feel right. I think he would do okay. I think he would do okay for them. You know, he'll make them hard to beat, that sort of thing. I don't see Everton challenging for the top 4, though. Top 6 out push. 7th place.
So Finnes says Villa will get Europe minimum. So
you think so, Finnes? I'm not so sure, bro.
It's a tough one, bro.
I think they'll be there in the top 10. I think they'll be there. You know, it's only Watkins could do the business this season. They're the ones who are winner, and like you said, they got Ings as well. So Ings, you know, the only thing with Ings is gotta keep fit. He's got to keep fit, guys, man. You know what I mean? Because he
100%,
banks
bro.
in the goals. I seen his compilation today on Sky Sports. They made one today, and I seen when he scored some goals for us. He scored some bangers for Burnley, and he scored some good goals last season for Southampton. You know? Yeah, man. I think he
Against
scored over
Liverpool,
20 goals. Over 20 goals. Do you know what I mean? And the one he scored against Tottenham, where we sort of half volleyed it. That was a brilliant goal, man. You know, he's a good player, man. It's a shame because it's the injuries that's messed him up.
He's a typical club player as well. That's what's funny. He's a typical hard worker on that. As he says, would you like to rather LFC face City with Messi in the Prem or PSG with Messi in Europe?
PSG all day, every day, bro. All day, every day. Because the likelihood is we won't have to face PSG. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, so he's gone. He's gone already.
Who?
Barcelona officials.
My word. Get that up, Fuzzy, if you don't mind, bro. That's breaking news.
He's gone. Yeah, so
I think that's PSG. Bloody hell. I hope to God Man City don't get in me though, bro.
Oh, tribute as well. Wow. Hang on. There's Finners again. You can read that one for me, man.
Whoa, Finners. So he has Burnley, Southampton, and Brentford to go down. Do you think Burnley's going to run out of luck now? Because a lot of people have been saying they've kind of been pushing their luck for the last 2 seasons. They always have a slow start, and then at the end they always come out of it. I think Sean Dyche is a good manager. You know, for the style of football he plays, and with Burnley it works. Southampton, I think Brentford's going to struggle. You know, I know they got Tony, and that is a decent striker. Is it Ivan Tony? But I think they're going to struggle, man. Southampton, I don't think they'll go down, me personally. I think Southampton will have enough to stay up above that line. 100%. I think it'll probably be even Norwich again, you know, because it looks like Daniel Farker doesn't want to change his philosophy, and it's just expansive football. And when you come into the Premier League, it's a different kettle of fish to the Championship. Do you know what I mean? You remember when he came into it the last couple of years when we beat them on opening day? It's too naive. It's too naive, man. You know, you've got to change it up at times, man, to live and swim with the sharks. In the Premier League, it's a different kettle of fish. You know what I mean? But Everton will get 12th. I bloody hope so, Finners. I hope so. I hope they'll get 20th place. You know, they've never been relegated for the top flight. Everton.
I can't believe it, man.
Never.
I can't believe it, man. When I hear that, it just frustrates me.
And Fuzz, like, we're going to do a show about these days, back in the day. Remember, we've already spoke about, like, topics that we're going to do on our shows. Everton, guys, for those that don't know, Everton FC were a Norwich goal in 1994 from getting relegated. In them days, we had a 22-team Premier League. Tell them again, Fuzzy. Tell them again,
Damn
Fuzzy.
you, Stuart. Damn you, Stuart. I'll never forgive you for that. I remember.
You remember it? Who did that at the helm? Mike Walker. Walker, innit?
I think it
Walker
was
managing them.
I think they were facing Norwich as well. I'm sure they were facing Norwich or someone like that.
That's what I
and
mean.
The ball just trickled. The ball was going so slow in the goal. Everybody said that's fixed. That is fixed.
And then again, in 1998, they should have got relegated. Dion Dublin scored for Coventry. But then Bolton failed to get a draw against Chelsea. And if it wasn't for those things, there would be no Everton in the top flight. You know, Martinez, 16 clean sheets, good goalkeeper. Good goalkeeper. I don't know why Arsenal got rid of him. I know. Bonkers.
I don't know.
Yeah, respect to the maximum Finners for joining us tonight, man. Appreciate it, man.
He's a quality guy, man.
Yeah, Minks and Conce as well. Good, they got good players. They got a good team. Everything's got a good team, man. Look at that.
Whew, man. That's a solid team, Aston Villa.
Good team, man.
Right now. Burnley haven't got a stream of income or made a healthy player. So, well, I don't know what to say about Burnley, to be fair. I know that Turf Moor has more.
Are you still about
more to say about that?
Turf Moor's TV, do you want to chime in on this one? You've probably gone now to do your stream. If you want to chime in, because you could talk about them more than we know. For me personally, I see Burnley struggling at the start of the first half of the season. Then I just see them getting the required points to stay up. I hope I'm wrong. Sorry, Dan.
Norwich got
I've had enough of your lot.
35 million plus promotion money to spend. So
Peanuts.
Norwich, who was it they sold? What's the player they sold to? Was it Villa? They sold one of the players that's sought after by a lot of teams to Villa, isn't it? Recently, Norwich. Is it Dundonka? I forgot his name, man. Somebody put his name up there. Apparently, he's a great player. A lot of teams were chasing him, from what I've heard.
Yeah. But yeah, man, it's going to be a very interesting season. Very interesting season. How do you have the top 6 up, Finners? Because I see that you're still with us tonight. How do you see your top 6 as it stands now? Let us know for those that are still locked into us. How do you see it, Finners? I mean, Fuzzy, how do you see it?
Mate,
your top 6 in order.
I'll favour us.
There you say that with your Liverpool head or your
Bundia, yes, Bundia, that's it.
Yeah,
that's the one he's talking about. And Todd Catwell.
Cantwell might be going.
Wasn't Liverpool linked to him?
Yeah, that was bollocks, though. That was bollocks, bro. Pardon my language. That was nonsense, bro. Like, Cardwell to Liverpool. Behave, bro. I'm not disrespecting him, but just come on.
As a Liverpool fan, I'm saying like it's going to be Liverpool winning the league, City second. I see Man United third and Chelsea fourth, and Leicester
Chelsea
fifth.
Fourth.
That's what.
Whoa.
Chelsea fourth, mate. I'm telling you, Chelsea fourth. I think Man United is going to finish above them. I think Tuchel is going to be found out next season as well. So I think, as a Liverpool fan, that is. But as the neutral, City, Liverpool, Chelsea, and Man United. That's what I say. As a neutral, that is. If you have a neutral point of view,
what you see, yeah. And do you see Leicester trying to break in? We haven't spoke about Leicester much. For me personally, with Leicester, the over-reliance on Jamie Vardy, I don't know what they're playing at. Why he's still a good player, but why do they have to over-rely on we got to get a little bit going about that, For me personally, I think they're over-relying on him, and I don't see Leicester cracking the top 4 because I think that mentality will come back into the psychological.
You don't think they bought right? You don't think they bought right? Like
I just don't see them challenging for the top 4, bro.
Oh, they even lost the defender, haven't they? They lost that Fofana.
Yeah. Wesley Fofana. So, I don't see Leicester challenging for the top 4. I don't, bro. And the reason why I say that is for 2 things. There's 4 teams better than them, for one, right? A lot of factors that come into play. Exactly. Yeah. And for me, Brendan Rodgers is one of them. And that's no disrespect to Rodgers. Yeah, and also basically the fact that they've bottled it 2 years on the trot on the last day. Now that's going to sort of play on their mind. They had a healthy points distance as well in both of those times where they should have got over the line. Let's be honest. We got in at their expense. Do you know what I'm saying? So ain't that going to play a doubt on the players' minds? Sort of thing. Yeah. Do you know what I mean, Fuzzy? If I don't see Leicester, right. For me, they should just have another go at trying to get a cup, maybe the League Cup, and have a go in the Europa League.
They're happy with that, bro. They're happy with that. They're happy with that. Their fans are happy with that. I spoke to a few of their fans. They say we're not gonna go above what we should get. You know what I mean? So even top 5 is fine. They say so. They're happy whatever they're gonna get at the end of the day, laser. They're not those kind of fans like the Arsenal fans who want instant success now. We want to win the league now. We want to do this, you know what I mean? And then F off the team after when they lose. They don't do that. They get right back. Leicester are a proper club, mate. They are a proper club. That's the kind of fans. Yeah,
they're well run. They're well run. They've got good owners.
That's the kind of owners. Their owners are better than ours, in my opinion. Their owners at least back the team. You know what I mean? They might not have the they might not have the City money, but they still back the team. No matter
one thing about Leicester though, and that's weird. I see the stat today. Where ever since they won the Premier League title in 2016, they've lost one important player. So I'll reel them up for you. Every season since then. So Kante went to Leicester, to Chelsea for £32 million. The year after that, Danny Drinkwater went to Chelsea for £35 million. Then they lost Mahrez for £60 million to Man City. And then they lost Harry Maguire for £80 million to Man United. 85. Then they lost Ben Chilwell to Chelsea. So every season they've lost a top pivotal player. Can they do it again this season? Could it be a Maddison to Arsenal? Could it be Tielemans to Liverpool? Who knows? Ooh. I'll take Tielemans.
I know you like Tielemans. I know you like Tielemans. I know that.
You're not feeling him, innit? You're not feeling Tielemans.
No. Listen, I'll take him. At this moment, I'll take anything. Because we're not signing anyone. But yeah.
Bloody hell,
man. Laser, finally, what do you think the league's going to be like, mate? Who's going to, obviously, top 5? What's your top 5?
My top 5, as it stands, right? It could all change in a week's time. I have it as Man City. The other day, I actually said Liverpool in third. But having thoughts and just watched a few preseason games and had time to digest, I actually think it would be Man City as it stands, Liverpool, Chelsea, Man United. Then I'll have possibly Arsenal, Leicester 6, Tottenham 7th. Tottenham out of the top 6. Tottenham's not in the top 6 for me.
Yeah.
Tottenham will play exactly like Wolverhampton Wanderers, but just a bit better.
Yeah. I think so as well, bro. 100%.
It's not going to improve
before
them.
We go,
it won't improve them.
Before we go, I know we've touched up on it. So if City buy, obviously, Harry Kane, do you think like there should be an inquest into this financial fair play and everything else? Do you think like there should be something happening? Do you think like, inquest wise?
Yeah, there should be, but we know it's not going to happen. Manchester City shouldn't have even been in the Champions League final last season. We all know what happened there with the FFP, and they paid them off. They bloody paid them off, bro. They should have been banned out of the Champions League for 2 seasons, bro, and it didn't happen. You know, it went to a court. Do you know what I'm saying? So for me, whether we're talking about this, that, and that, it ain't going to happen, bro. You know what I'm saying? It should be. It should be, because how on earth are they going to do that with the Messi if they get him and Kane? You know, so Kane must be sweating now, thinking, oh my God, am I going to get my move? Because for me, who else is going to buy Kane? Who else is going to stump on that money to Daniel Levy?
Nobody.
And he ain't going to sue PSG.
160 million? Nah,
no chance, man. And that's just ridiculous sums of money. Ridiculous sums. Absolutely ridiculous. So for me personally, Manchester City is just absolutely crazy. They get Messi, you know, and everyone's going to be sweating now. The Premier League will like, because I think Messi can do the business. You know, Manchester City will pick up the required points against most of the bottom fodder to win the league. It's a case of, all it is then is a case of the traditional 6 being able to take points off Man City. That's what, because Man City always smash the little teams, bro.
Yeah,
so
hard,
all the top 6 have to club together and take the points of Man City. Do I see Tottenham doing something against Man City on the opening day? I'm not so sure. You know, can Nuno Espirito for Tottenham play that defensive football? That's the only way I see him playing to stop Man City. He's done it before at Wolves. He's gave them hard games, but has he got the players to do that at Spurs at the moment? Who knows? You know what I'm saying? And then after that, I've looked at Man City's fixtures and they look very easy. So it's just whether everyone can keep up with them and we do our stuff, you know.
So, ladies and gentlemen, before we go, where can people find you on a regular basis, mate? Obviously here, but
well, guys, you're going to always be seeing me collaborate with Fuzzy on this channel, LFC Red Forever, and my own channel, Laser LFC. You can stay tuned to us on our socials, which is Instagram, LFC Red Forever, Laser LFC, and we also have another platform, brand new platform, Unscripted Football Talk. You can find us on YouTube. It's UF Talk. That's Uniform Foxtrot Tango Talk. And yeah, man, just follow us on our socials, guys. Just follow us on our socials. All the information's there in the description. Tomorrow, we're going to be streaming the live watch-along between Manchester City and Leicester City, the Community Shield. We're going to be there here 15 minutes before kickoff. And I think if I'm right, it's 4:30 kickoff UK time. And then Sunday, catch me. Just stay tuned to the Instagram for updates. Fuzzy's going to be at Anfield live and direct. We're going to try and get some interviews with the fans, some Q&As, and we're going to be simultaneously streaming that live and direct on Laser LFC. So stay tuned.
You heard the man.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for joining us tonight, man, and staying tuned. Thank you. Appreciate that, guys.
Yes, people, as you guys can see, the chat shows are packed in full. We've gone over an hour now, and it's brilliant, man. I'm a bit tired. That's why I'm probably a bit hesitant at times. But thank you for tuning in. Much appreciated. I know that we switched channels. We just had a technical issue with UF Talk. We'll be back on that tomorrow, hopefully, doing the Community Shield. Please tune into that one. Please share the channel with your family and friends as well. Obviously, I've got the links below for Laser, and I'm going to put UFT on there as well. So please get onto those social medias and subscribe for us as well. Much appreciated, everyone. Honestly, much appreciated for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this. Please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification button as well. And I'll see you soon. Thank you, Aziz. What was Aziz saying before we go? Good stream, lads. You never walk alone. You never walk alone, Aziz. Thank you for tuning in. Much appreciated, mate. See you soon, people. See you soon.